Ladies and gentlemen, I have some news which may shock some of you. Well, you've probably already seen it in the video titles, so you probably already know what it is, but for those of you who haven't heard yet and don't know, SpaceVenture is finally done. I can hardly believe I'm saying this, but SpaceVenture is finished. It's being released. So, those of you who've been watching my channel for a long time may remember more than 10 years ago, I think it was in 2012, but it was like like summer or spring 2012, so a little over 10 years ago, I made a video with what I announced as Space Quest news, proclaiming, correctly, it wasn't a lie, that the two guys from Andromeda, Mark Crow and Scott Murphy, the two guys behind the original Space Quest games, they were working on a new game together. It was called SpaceVenture, and is still called SpaceVenture. And the game went through so many delays and problems. I'm not going to talk about all those now. This is not going to be a long video detailing the whole development history of SpaceVenture. I might make a video like that. I am planning to make a video like that at some point in a few weeks, once the game has been released, but I want to give some time because I haven't seen it, I haven't played it, and I want to be able to kind of see the game in its finished state before I make any commentary on the game itself. So this is not going to be a big long video about commenting about the game itself or what it's like. It's just a relatively short announcement video. After more than 10 years, SpaceVenture is done, and it is scheduled to be released to the public on, I believe the exact date was September 16th. The 16th of September in the year 2022, or 2022 if you prefer. Which, at the time that I'm making this video, is a little over 2 weeks from now. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. And many of you know, because I've said it several times, the reason why I haven't Let's Played the Space Quest games on my channel is because I thought, let's wait until SpaceVenture has been released, and then that will make kind of a nice celebration, sort of like a nice commemoration of the game being released, going through the Space Quest games. So yeah, when the game comes out, around that time, or shortly after that time, I do intend to start Let's Playing the Space Quest games. I'll probably just do the first 3. As you folks know, I don't get along well with point-and-click adventure game interfaces. I prefer text parsers. The first 3 Space Quests had a text parser, and then they started with this point-and-click stuff. Didn't sit well with me. Or maybe I'll play the further games, who knows, but right now I'm just thinking probably just the first 3. So that'll happen. And many people probably wonder, will I play SpaceVenture? Well, it's hard for me to say right now, because again, I haven't seen the game. I have seen a few screenshots and a few very short kind of pre-release clips of the game. The game has actually been available to beta testers. It's been in beta testing for, I think, almost 2 years. And it was quite buggy, which is why beta testing took so long. It had quite a few problems that needed to be fixed. But the people who have been beta testing the game have said, the general sort of opinion seems to be, it's an okay game. Don't get your hopes up too much. Don't expect Don't expect anything that necessarily justified the more than 10-year development time. But if you like the Space Quest games, it's a nice throwback. It's a nice throwback to the gameplay and writing style of the Space Quest games, because, you know, it's written by the same two guys. So keep your expectations in check, and you'll discover not an excellent game, not the game of the year, but an enjoyable little game for the people who remember Space Quest. Again, that's not my verdict, that's the verdict that I've heard from the beta testers who have played the game and offered up their opinions on it. So yeah. And will I play it? Well, that depends on whether I like it. So I've realized that people don't like watching videos of me playing a game that I don't enjoy. If I'm not enjoying the game, if I'm not having fun, then you, the viewers, also aren't having fun. It's no fun to watch a guy play a game and just keep complaining about it. And, you know, if I don't like the game, if I'm obviously not having fun, it's really not fun for you folks either, most of the time. Maybe there are a few sadists among you who actually enjoy watching people play games they don't like, but most people say, you know, it's just not fun. If you're not into the game, it's not fun to watch somebody playing the game. So we'll see. I will suspend judgment until I've played the game myself. And if I like it, then yeah, I might make a Let's Play of it. But if it turns out like that King's Quest remake, oh my goodness, the new King's Quest games that Activision came out with a few years ago, I will not be featuring those on my channel. And if SpaceVenture is like that, then I'm not going to be featuring it on my channel either. But I don't think it will be, because the new King's Quest games were made by, you know, a big company. And obviously, you know, they were made with due awareness of the original King's Quest games, but still, they were made by a AAA studio with heavy emphasis on the kind of thing that people like to see in games today, and that's not my thing. So, yeah, I've seen the new King's Quest games. I do not wish to speak of them further. But SpaceVenture is not being made by, or it wasn't made by a big-name studio, it was made by a very small organization, which was mostly the two guys and, you know, a handful of other people who did development and marketing and stuff like that. So, who knows? Maybe something nice will come out of it. I don't know. So yeah, in my astonishment at discovering that after more than 10 years the game is done, I decided to do something that I also haven't done in probably more than 10 years. I went outside, which is why I'm making the video in these settings, because I didn't really have anything specific to show. Usually when I make these kinds of videos, I'm showing something on my computer screen with me kind of playing some other game just to have something to look at, but I couldn't think of an appropriate game to form a background for a video like this, so I thought I'll just go for a walk in the forest. I will just go for a walk in the forest and film this and just talk about what I want to talk about. Maybe it's almost as entertaining. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about in this video. Like I said, I do plan to make a much longer video later, kind of talking about the development history of the game, some of my opinions on that process. That's a very long story, and a very sad story, actually. It really is quite a tragic story, the development of this game. It's really more lows than highs. But I do want to weigh in with some of my opinions on it, just because, not like anybody really cares what my opinion is, but just because, you know, it's YouTube. People make videos where they talk about their opinions. It's just kind of what you do. And that's it. So yeah, look forward to SpaceVenture coming out in a little over 2 weeks from the time of this video. And like I said, I plan to make a longer commentary on the game once it's come out, and also Let's Plays of Space Quest. That's pretty much it. And just one other thing, while I'm making this video, might as well talk about another game that some of you might be waiting for. So, which I've also mentioned before, Ken's Game. For a long time it was just called Ken's Game because it was on that website kensgame.com. Ken Williams and his wife Roberta Williams, whom I'm sure the vast majority of you know very well, are making a game, and it is to come out this fall, which is, fall starts in September, so I don't know exactly when in fall. It might be in a few weeks, might be in a couple of months, who knows. But the game is a remake of the original Colossal Cave, the original text adventure game. Sometimes just called Adventure, sometimes called Advent, sometimes called Colossal Cave. It is being remade in a 3D environment, targeting VR headsets. Although, as I understand it, you will be able to play it without a VR headset. I mean, that's kind of like the main sort of target platform. You can just play it on a regular PC if you don't have a VR headset. And yeah, if you're interested in that, then be aware of that. That should be coming out soon as well. I do find it interesting, I'll just say in passing, I do find it interesting that SpaceVenture took more than 10 years to make, whereas Ken's Game, well, Ken and Roberta, I mean, I call it Ken's Game because that was the website URL, but I mean, it's Ken and Roberta's game and also other people's games. It's not just Ken and Roberta, there are a handful of other artists and developers making it, but that game, Colossal Cave 3D, got finished in something like 1 year, and I think it's more ambitious. I think it's looking like the new Colossal Cave 3D game will be a lot more polished, a lot more ambitious than SpaceVenture. And it kind of got me thinking about the role of managers, because, it's funny. On the one hand, the two guys from Andromeda, the game that they just made, it's nice to be in a very small little studio like that. It's nice to be a very small indie developer making small little indie games like that. It's all very well and good. It's something that people idealize and romanticize, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if you don't have a manager who's, managing the money and the human resources and the intellectual property and so on, it can get very difficult to realize a project. Like, it's surprisingly difficult to get a project done sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I feel very certain when we see SpaceVenture, it will not look like a game or play like a game that should have taken 10 years to make. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that they didn't really have a producer, they didn't really have a manager to handle the day-to-day project work of finishing the game. And, it's funny because managers get a bad rap. Like, if you work in a company, as most of you probably do, there's this sort of idea of the manager as just this big asshole who is just always yelling at people, just always telling people to do their work and making things no fun for anybody. And there may be some truth to that, but you see, I have seen, and I think probably some of you have seen as well, just how badly teams fare if they don't have someone sort of handling the day-to-day activities and kind of planning the activities of the group. The group falls apart very quickly if there's nobody really organizing it. And, there is this sort of stereotype of managers are just fat cats. They're just wealthy people sitting at the top who just do nothing and let the money roll in. Which is not entirely untrue in some cases, but it's not that true. It's not as true as some people might think, because I've been on both sides of that. Like, I don't have my own business, but I have been in, I guess you could call them middle management positions. And, when you actually walk in that person's shoes, when you actually walk in a manager's shoes and actually wear that hat, carry that role for a while, you start to understand, it's not easy being a manager, because everybody expects you to take the blame for everything that goes wrong. Everything that goes wrong, they take it right to you and say, well, fix this. We've got this terrible situation. Everything is messed up. Fix it. So there is tremendous stress to untangle every knot that that people get into, because, you know, anytime people have a problem, they always bring it to you. And of course, they always bring you the most unsolvable, like the most impossible problems that have no good solution, which forces you to choose between two alternatives, or sometimes more than two alternatives, none of which are good. So you just have to kind of choose the least bad of several terrible choices, which is part of why managers are so unpopular, because they make bad choices because they're forced to. They're given a set of very bad possibilities, and all they can do is try to choose the least bad of those possibilities. And of course, it doesn't always work, because managers are human, and to err is human, as King's Quest III was called. Although spelled differently because it was a pun, of course. So yeah, I think we see that, you know, Ken is a manager type. He is a very type A kind of personality, which is good and bad. I mean, if you're a chill kind of person, if you don't like people who get uptight, if you like people who are just more relaxed and don't get excited or upset about anything, then you probably don't get along with type A personalities very well. But I've seen how necessary they sometimes are. And I think, looking at how SpaceVenture went, I think that a little bit of organization, a little bit of somebody cracking the whip, not literally, not like in Space Quest 3, but like, you know, those guys at the end of Space Quest 3 cracking whips of the programmers. I mean, not literally, of course, but, you know, somebody who applies a bit of pressure and kind of manages the mid to long-term planning of the project. It starts to become apparent just how important those people are. They contribute more to projects than I think people realize in most cases. Anyway, I should stop rambling. This video has probably already gone on much longer than I intended for it to. So yeah, this is the dry forest of Central Europe. Central Europe has just endured its worst summer in terms of drought. It's just this summer we just endured the worst drought in Central Europe in, well, people are saying it was the worst drought in about 500 years. There was hardly any rain. It was extremely hot for much of the summer. So yeah, this was an exceptional drought. It's not as bad now because we have had a bit of rain the past few days. I mean, now it's sunny, as you can see, but we have had a couple of rainy days over the past week or two, so it's not as bad now as it was before. But greetings to everyone from the drought-ridden forests of Central Europe. Thanks for watching. Hope you're all doing well. And along with all of you, I look forward to seeing what comes of SpaceVenture. I hope it'll be good. I think it'll be okay. I think, like I said, let's keep our expectations in check. It won't be the best game that you've ever played, probably. Unless you've never played a game before. Or you've only played really terrible games. But I'm optimistic that it won't be too bad. So here's a crossroads. Or not really, I mean, it's not just like a crossroads, it's a four-way. Can a four-way intersection still be a crossroads? I don't know. I don't just have two paths to choose from, now I have four. What path should I choose? I don't know. I guess I'll have to make a decision eventually, but the world may never know because I'm stopping the video now. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye for now.